Hello, beautiful friends and book lovers. I am so excited to film this April TBR for you guys. I have so many good books for the month of April. I have 5 thrillers and 1 young adult novel, and I'm just super excited. So let's just go ahead and start talking about the book. So the first 2 books that I'm going to talk about are the books that I'm going to do for my April read along or read with me, whatever you want to call it. If you're new to my channel, I choose 2 books a month where I read them with you guys, like we read them together. And for each of the books, I film 2 videos, and it's pretty much just reading, chatting about the books together, chatting about them on Instagram, chatting about them on Goodreads if you want. But yeah, so I'm going to talk about those. And if you're interested in doing the read along with me, I'll put links in the description for all of the books actually that I'm going to mention. But I'm sure a lot of you already have these copies too, especially the second one that I'm going to read for April because it's not like a brand new book. It's been out for a little bit. So yeah, let's start chatting about them. So the first book, which is going to be my first half of April read along, and probably the one I'm most excited for, is The Other Misses, which is written by Mary Kubica. I hope I'm saying that right. Hello, I got this in the mail a couple days ago, and I had no idea that it's coming to Netflix. I don't know if that means it's a movie. I don't know if it's going to become a show. Let me know in the comments if you know, but I'm so excited to read this. If you've seen my top 10 favorite books of 2019, I'll link that video in the description. The Good Girl by Mary Kubica made my top 10 list. I loved that book. I loved the ending. It was so good. So I have such high hopes for this book, you guys. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So I'm gonna read you the insert here. Is that what they're insert? I don't even know. The little flap, the little description, the little overview of what this book is about. So if you're interested. So this says, she tried to run, but she can't escape the other misses. Maybe I should show it here so you guys can see the cover. Sadie and Will Faust have only just moved their family from bustling Chicago, to small town Maine when their neighbor Morgan Baines is found dead in her home. The murder rocks their tiny coastal island, but no one is more shaken than Sadie. But it's not just Morgan's death that has Sadie on edge, it's the eerie and decrepit old home they inherited. It's Will's disturbed teenage niece Imogene with her threatening presence. And it's the troubling past that continues to wear at the seams of their family. As the eyes of suspicion turn toward the new family in town, Sadie is drawn deeper into the mystery of Morgan's death. But Sadie must be careful, for the more she discovers about Mrs. Baines, the more she begins to realize just how much she has to lose if the truth ever comes to light. If you want to read this with me in April, the second Sunday in April, which I believe is the 12th, I'm going to post a video here on YouTube about being halfway through the book. So I'm going to talk about the first half, and then my final review will be like the second half where we can chat about it. And I'm just so excited. I have such high hopes for this. Just reading that sounds exactly like something that I need in my life right now. So my second book in my TBR and the second half of April's read along, read with me, is going to be An Anonymous Girl, written by Greer, I hope, yep, Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. An Anonymous Girl. I am so excited to read this. I know that this writing duo has recently come out with another thriller that I'm blanking on the name, but I'm going to put it here because I can picture the cover vividly, but I can't think of the title right now. And I know that that's all over Bookstagram. Everyone's talking about it. And I was like, you know what? I wanted to read this one first. And plus, one of my teammates, one of my colleagues gave me this for my birthday. And I'm super excited. So if you don't know what it's about, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it right now. Seeking women ages 18 to 32, I fit that category, to participate in a study on ethics and morality, generous compensation. When Jessica Ferris signs up for a psychology study conducted by the mysterious Dr. Shields, she thinks all she'll have to do is answer a few questions, collect her money, and leave. Question 1, could you tell a lie without feeling guilt? But as the questions grow more and more intense and invasive and the sessions become outings where Jess is told what to wear and how to act, she begins to feel as though Dr. Shields may know what she's thinking and what she's hiding. And then it just gives a couple other questions here. But this actually sounds really interesting. That's the first time I've read that little flap here. I'm sure some of you could probably tell because I'm like, but yeah, that sounds unlike anything I've ever read before. So I'm really excited because I've heard a lot of great things about this author duo together. And yeah, my teammate that gave this to me, she's like, Heather, I know that you love thrillers, but I don't. And this kept me up all night. And I definitely thought this is something Heather would like. So I'm really excited. The third book that I'm excited for in the month of April is My Lovely Wife, written by Samantha Downing. I believe this is the new cover. I always order all of my books on Amazon just because I'm buying so much stuff on Amazon anyways that it's just easier for me, to be honest. And I think this is the new cover because, here, I'm going to show you it because, I don't know, like I love how her eye is just like popping out. It's so blue. It's mysterious and it feels so soft. I'm a texture kind of gal. But anyways, I believe the original cover is like, it's all white. And I think it's like a girl with red hair holding a knife. I believe that's the same story. I'm going to put it here so you guys can see what I'm thinking of. And if it's not the same book, then I don't know what I was thinking. But I don't know. I was saying this to someone on Instagram recently too, that I feel like so many books have wife or wives in the titles now. And it's like so confusing. But this has been catching my eye for quite some time. And we don't really get a really big excerpt with this one. It just says, the twist at the end of this first chapter made me read through the night. That's another author's little insight there. This is a story about a married couple. They have a very dark secret. You might think you've read stories like this before. You'd be wrong. Literally doesn't tell me anything about this story. Am I missing like what it's about? Where does it say that? I don't know, whatever. I probably read about this on Goodreads because I put it in my like recent, I want to read this ASAP, and this is there. So I'm excited. I mean, I feel like I've been reading quite a few like stories about people being married, etc. Stuff goes down, but let's see. Let's see how this one turns out. Okay, number 4, another thriller. I'm so excited about it because this is my current favorite author right now, and that would be Lisa Jewell. This is one of her older books titled I Found You, and I've been saying so much on Bookstagram that I love Lisa Jewell, and I have been recommended this book probably over like 15 times because when I had a post about my review for The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, and some people were saying like, oh, well, what's your favorite Lisa Jewell book? And it's Then She Was Gone. That was my number 2 favorite book of 2019. But they're like, oh my gosh, you should read this by Lisa Jewell. So I don't know. I mean, like it sounds like a thriller. I'm going to read the back to you, but it doesn't sound like the other kind of books I've read by Lisa before. So I'm really interested. Let's check the copyright on this because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this was like one of her... Nope, it says copyright 2016, so not that old. But let's go ahead and get into the little excerpt info that we get of this book. Okay, so this says, in the windswept British seaside town of Writinghouse Bay, single mom Alice Lake finds a man sitting on the beach. He has no name and no idea how he got there. Meanwhile, in a London suburb, newlywed Lily Monrose grows anxious when her husband fails to return home from work. But the police soon deliver even more disturbing news. The man she married never truly existed. That's weird. It's weird. 23 years earlier, Gray and Kirsty Ross are teenagers on a summer holiday with their parents. The annual trip to Writinghouse Bay is uneventful until a young man starts paying extra attention to Kirsty. Something about him makes Gray uncomfortable. Did I call him Gary at first? I don't even know. Sorry if I did. And it's not just because he's a protective older brother. Who is the man on the beach? Where is Lily's missing husband? And whatever happened to the man who made such a lasting impression on Gray? This actually is giving me a little bit of the Family Upstairs vibe. If you've read that from her, that story has such a huge family dynamic, and this kind of sounds like it's gonna have that vibe. Also similar to The Family Upstairs, that book goes between past and present point of views, and it sounds like that's what this is gonna be like too. So super excited. I have read a lot of Lisa Jewell's books, but well, I should say I've listened because all of them have been on Amazon Audible. And this is going to be my first actual book of hers that I'm reading. So I'm super stoked. Okay, so before I talk about the one young adult novel that I'm reading this month, I am going to talk about my last thriller, which is on Amazon Audible. It's going to be my newest listen. And before I talk about it, I want to say that I'm open for other recommendations because this book is not that long. It's only like 8 or 9 hours on Amazon Audible. And I know that I'm going to want to listen to more in the month of April. So if you have a recommendation for a thriller that you think I would like based off of my choices here and other past videos and such, please leave in the comments below because I would just love a recommendation of another thriller I should listen to. But the one thriller I currently will 100% for sure be listening to is 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson, I believe. This seems to be a story centered around a man who loves literature, especially like old mystery novels that are super well-known, popular, have great twists and endings. And he works in a bookstore and he's somehow tied into like he somehow gets wrapped up into like current murders that are going on, and I'm not sure if he's like helping the police solve it or if he's like somehow involved. I didn't really want to spoil it for myself, but I've heard really great things, so I'm super excited. And for my last book in the month of April, a cover that I absolutely adore is Defy Me by Tahara Mafi. This is the 5th installment in the Shatter Me series with the 6th installment, Imagine Me. I believe its pub date is March 31st. Oh my gosh. I will read this book very slowly. There's really not much I can say about this. If you don't know the series, you need to start reading it. Shatter Me, the very first book in the series. When I started BookTube like 7 years ago, I filmed reviews on the first 3 books and like some of the novellas. So if you want to see Baby Heather, go check those out because I'm sure they're like super cringe. But anyways, what was I even saying? I lost my train of thought. Anyways, this is a dystopian young adult novel. It's amazing. I'm so sad that the series is coming to an end. I'm going to read this slowly because I don't want it to end, and I want the information to be fresh in my mind when I get Imagine Me, which I'm probably going to purchase in the month of April just because I'm not going to be able to contain myself. So anyways, these are all of my books for April. Let me know if you want to do the read along with me and we can just chat. And that's what I love doing, is I love reading a book and then just chatting with someone and being like, oh my gosh, what do you think? Whoa, that kind of scared me a little bit. What was I saying? That I just love chatting with people and like being halfway through a story. Usually you're like, who do you think the murderer is? What do you think's going on? Are you liking it so far? And I love that. So that's why I want to film 2 like halfway videos for The Other Misses and An Anonymous Girl. And then also just chatting with you guys makes me so happy. But let me know if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are. If you want to read any of these books, just let me know. And I also cannot wait to see what you guys have for the month of April because I always am finding out new books from you guys. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my first video for The Other Misses on April 4th, I think. April 4th will be my halfway. April 4th with my first half review, like what I'm thinking of the first half of The Other Misses, and then April 12th will be my final review. And then I'll start with An Anonymous Girl and probably just post random reviews of these other books if I need something to read in the meantime. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!